yeah, welcome to our panel. This was just a general panel. I only really looked at like what panels we were doing like a week before we came. I'm just like, Twin and Nova panel. I'm just like, great, okay. So we can just make this a general thing, so it can be a Q&A. We can tell embarrassing stories.
Yeah, we have a lot about Courtney.
We have a lot about Courtney, who's our friend who didn't come. We like to tell stories about her when she's not here because she can't defend herself, so it just makes it a whole lot easier to embarrass her. So if folks have any questions, please feel free to ask them, and then we can also tell stories and talk.
Yes.
What do you say for an icebreaker? Story. Okay, you're just like stories. Shut up and speak. Why don't you tell a story? Batman. All right. Hello.
Yeah, which story?
I am Batman. I am the night.
Who else
I am the night.
Who else thinks that the new Batman looks like a cat? Yeah.
He does. He looks like a giant fat cat. Giant, overweight fat cat. I'm going to laugh my ass off through that movie. I'm going to be so enthralled with it. I can't wait. Is anyone actually going to go see Batman vs. Superman?
I'm going to go see it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go see it. I don't know if I actually listen to it. I'll probably just, this the entire time, Batman. Batman's fighting Superman. Batman's so mad. Speaking to our friend Courtney. So, one year we were coming back from a convention, and our friend Courtney, she's in a lot of our videos. She cosplayed Batman. But
did she? Oh yeah,
what
she
else
did.
does she cosplay?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
She's our friend Courtney. She's in a lot of our videos. She does a lot of stuff. She cosplayed Elsa one time. She had so much glitter on her dress that she left a slug trail. You know how slugs leave like a glittery, slimy trail behind them? She left this this glowing trail behind her, and she was lost at the convention. We're just like, where's Courtney? We're just like, wait, see on the ground that beautiful slug trail? So we followed it through the entire convention because it was still thick through the entire convention and found her. And our house was covered in this slug trail anyway. That's Courtney. And she had like a full-on mental breakdown this one time. We were coming back from Seattle, and she was driving, and she was talking like Batman into the car. She was dressed as Poison Ivy, and it was super weird. Her Poison Ivy, she has very large breasts, so her Poison Ivy was sort of like a serving plate of her breasts. Because like her corset didn't properly close. It was just like, here are my boobs. And like we were walking down the streets of Seattle, and like it just popped. Like she was talking, and just her nipple just came out. And she's like, it's fine.
I feel like we should point out that this does happen to her a lot. So she is used to her nip slips.
Yeah, like constantly.
Yeah,
she doesn't even care anymore.
Yeah.
So she's walking back to the car talking like this. She's calling me Dick. She's, shut up, Dick. Just walk to the car. Get in the car. Thank you for the water. Chip Skylark. So she's going like this, and she's driving out of the parking garage. And I'm just like, Batman, where did you learn how to drive? She's like, do bats need to learn how to fly? Dick, come on. But then something clicks in her mind, and she starts being a maniac. Yeah. So she's driving through Seattle. She's like, get out of my way. Your life sucks. There's the Joker. And she swerves out of the way and almost hits a homeless person. And we're driving back, and for at least an hour and a half of this trip, she's just talking like the Joker. And I'm asking her questions just to egg her on, like, but Batman, why are you dressed as a woman? He's like, she, I don't know anymore. She's like, it's a disguise. I'm undercover. And then she like smears her makeup across her face. She's got like lipstick across her face.
So she looked exactly like the Joker, dressed as Poison Ivy, acting like Batman.
And so I told her she looked like the Joker. She's like, how dare you say that to me? He killed my family. And so this is Courtney, and this is what we think about whenever we talk in the Batman voice.
Yeah.
Did anyone, we came to Seattle. This isn't Seattle. This is
we went
Arizona.
To Scottsdale.
Thank you. We went to Scottsdale last year. We had like this random meetup at a Starbucks. Yeah, hey. Awesome. So we had like this. I was just like, we'll go to Scottsdale and we eat at Starbucks, I guess. It was Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We don't follow the Super Bowl. So same. You're just like, yeah. But apparently everyone else in the world does. I'm trying to book a hotel. I'm just like, God, Scottsdale's popular. There is no hotel room in all of Phoenix. Like, I couldn't get one in Scottsdale, couldn't get one in Mesa. Ended up getting, like, a really crappy one. Just down the street from here, actually.
Motel 6.
Not saying this is crappy, but it was like a Motel 6. It was, like, the only thing open.
We got their last room, too.
Yeah, it was crazy. But we're flying down, and we're just like, oh, yeah, it's so, like, it must be, like, tourist season. Which is weird because it was like
January.
March,
No, it was January.
January. Is it tourist season in Arizona right now? Is there a tourist season in Arizona? Is it August?
Snowboard?
Snowbird? Snowbirds? Oh, I thought you meant like this like celestial like bird. The snowbird flies into Arizona once a year. They're magnificent. They grant you wishes, and then they bite your head off so you never have time to enjoy them. So we came down here, and we went through Seattle, and so the Seahawks were playing, right? And so we're just, I see these Seahawks fans. I'm just like, oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, they must all be going down to see the game. Where is it? Like, Tampa, Seattle, like, or the Patriots are playing. Maybe it's New England, because I thought it had to be like one of the two cities that were playing in there. So we get on our plane, and it's like there sure are a lot of Seahawks and Patriots fans on this plane. Good for them. They're going home to Phoenix to watch their game on their TV in Phoenix. And then we get on the plane, and the pilot comes on, and she's like, is everyone on the plane excited to go down to Phoenix to see Super Bowl whatever, 87? And I just look at Jen, and I'm just like, oh, this explains everything. We could not get a taxi. No. Apparently, the Starbucks that we told everyone to meet at was like in the center of this huge party.
It was also extremely small.
It was super small. Like they kind of asked us to leave. We could see like the
death glares.
Yeah, they were getting like uncomfortable with the amount of people, so we went to like this bakery beside the Starbucks, where I felt bad because I was just like, can we just sit in your bakery? We ate here earlier. And they're like, sure. And they gave us a back room, which was really cool. And then I bought all of their cookies as an apology. And yeah, we just stayed there. They stayed open late for us. It was great. But I told a story there that I like to tell because I feel like it's... because I feel like it's a bit of like a... It's a bit of an icebreaker because I feel like after telling this story, no one else can feel embarrassed for anything they've done in their life. So maybe I'll tell that now.
All right, go ahead.
Just to break the ice a bit. Are you folks okay? You've heard it. Okay, are you all right? Hearing it again? Okay, positive? Okay. All right, so this one stars Courtney again. I don't know why I'm pointing. She's not here. She's also not dead, so don't worry. It's not like Courtney... Yeah, she's in her back cave. So this happened years ago at a convention called Fanime. Anyone ever been to Fanime? It's in San Jose. Used to be really good. Now it's too busy. So we were at Fanime, and Courtney was wearing these white pants for Sashomaru because we were doing Inuyasha. And she had armor over top of most of it, but like the white pants would stick out from the side. And during this time when she was wearing these white pants, Courtney had an issue pop up. Courtney is a woman, and as many women experience, Courtney got her period, but she didn't notice until it was far too late. So that night, she gets back to the hotel, she rips off her armor, and there's like this huge red wet stain. She's like, oh no. And I'm like, it's okay, like day's over, you don't have to wear these anymore. She's like, no, you don't understand, I have to wear these tomorrow for another costume where like the centerpiece is my crotch. And I'm like, first of all, what? Second, that's bad news. because you have to wear them tomorrow. What can we do? And it's like, it's okay. We'll just quickly paint over them in like white gesso paint right now. So we put them on the ground. We painted them over in gesso paint. So it's painting, and it's like, you know when you paint over already wet stuff? And it's sort of like...
Smears.
It sort of just smears everywhere. Yeah. I mean, we got it covered. It wasn't a great paint job, but we didn't care because we were having a dance party. We turned on Miley Cyrus.
Yep.
We're having a great time. Jenna goes into the bathroom and locks the door. This is very key. She locks the door. No, it's very key. So we're dancing, bathroom door is locked, and like we're jumping on the bed, singing Miley Cyrus's Best of Both Worlds, because at the time in our lives we thought like that was the best song ever, because we were just like, some days we're just like all our friends, and then other days we cosplay, and we were young, okay? And then I do this thing where, you know, like you pretend to like walk down the stairs. Yeah, like the elevator thing, right? So I did the elevator thing, and I didn't, like, I don't know how I forgot, but I did the elevator thing and then I fell because I lost my balance. And then I got up and I was just like, oh my God, look at this stuff. And I started like rubbing it on my face. I write like, I love you on my leg. I'm just like, I'm rubbing it all over my body because I'm like, this is hilarious. And then I like look at my hands and I'm just like, so I thought this was white paint, but it's actually more like a rose color. And then Courtney's just staring at me like, she's like, do you remember what that paint was covering? I was like, well, now I do. And then I realized that I had just rubbed my friend's menstrual blood all over my body. And then I ran to the bathroom to try to wipe it off, but the bathroom door was locked. So I just had to sit there in my shame, letting my friend's menstrual blood crust on my face, on my legs, waiting for Jenna's very long shower to end so I could wash the shame off of my body. We like to say we're blood brothers. Because I guarantee it, no two best friends have ever been any closer. And we told this story once in front of like at least like 100 people. It was like this really awkward panel where it was like us, so we're like these like amateur like cosplayers, and there was like, I forgot her name, Megan something. Attorney, Yaya Hana, Jessica Negri, like on
Lindsay Elise.
And we're just telling this story, and just going for it, and then we like Jessica Negri like tips back her chair and looks at me, and she's just like, blood brothers, really? And I would have been mortified, but I was just like, I'm owning this. It's fine. Because I consider it a defining moment in my life. You know, like, that was the moment I realized.
What did you realize?
This was never going to end. This embarrassment was just not going to get any better. So next time you're feeling embarrassed, just remember that you probably have never rubbed your friend's menstrual blood on your body. Unless you have, in which case, more power to you. I told you I would cough after the end of everything.
Yes. Okay, so that was our icebreaker story.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions or comments or queries? Yeah. Umbreon. Oh, cool. I thought it would look like it's a super neat trick. Anytime anyone wants to do a mask, a way to avoid like strapping it on or painting it on is that you take craft foam. First, you've got to have a really resilient face. No, you don't have to have a really resilient face. You just have to understand heat. So you cut out your mask and you put it on your face. Make sure your eye holes are lined up where they're supposed to, because you don't want them over here. So you're just like, I can't see. So you make sure you can see. Make sure you can breathe. Two key things. Unless you don't want to do either, which is fine. More power to you. And then you put it against your face, and then you heat it up with a heat gun. And then you just press it against your face, and the craft foam will conform to your face. So create like a little like nose bumpy, everything. I always use the technical terms. I am
Yes.
technical. Um, and then you take double-sided tape, which you can buy, like, Michaels? You have Michaels here.
You shouldn't use stuff for like scrapbooking.
Well, I did.
There's something called fashion tape, which is meant to hold fabric to your skin, and that's what you should be using because it's meant for skin, and doesn't have like acidic, weird chemicals in it.
So, whatever you choose, whether you choose to burn your face with acid or choose to live a safe, healthy life, it's up to you. I chose the former. But you just attach it around the mask and you just push on your face and your mask just stays on.
Yeah, and you
Super
don't
easy.
have to use a heat gun either. Like you can turn on your oven and just like hold it above the element and just like a little bit of heat, even a hair dryer, and yeah, it'll just heat up the craft foam and then it'll shape however you want it to.
Yes.
If you use fashion tape, no.
I like the pain. Also, if you had like hair on your face too, like you'll want to, not that anyone has like hair like up here, but if you have like hair,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
had,
yeah,
we had a
eyebrows, that
friend
hurts.
put, I think, was it scrapbooking or
Ooh.
was it glue? I don't know. They attached a mask to their face and they either used like really, really strong scrapbooking tape or glue. And they pulled off their mask and half their eyebrows came off with it.
Who? Ah. No.
Okay. Yes. So, there's a question in the back. Glycerin.
No. Not nitroglycerin. I know that's an explosive. Oh yeah, like sort of like Vaseline. Yeah. Oh, that would have been smart, but tonight
Yes.
I'm losing my eyebrows. What you gonna do? It's
That's a
okay,
good
I don't
tip.
have eyebrows, so
No,
it's
you
fine.
really don't.
And
That's fine.
blonde.
Do we have any other questions? Mm. Yeah, eyelash
Yeah, that
glue
works too.
or like spear gum. Yeah,
Spirit gum is stinky though.
it is,
That's
and
the
it takes forever to take off.
Yeah.
What was the proxy? What was the other one?
Prozane.
Prozade.
But
Yeah.
Prozane doesn't stick as well.
No?
It's weird.
Silicone adhesive. Yep.
Ah.
There we go.
Challenge accepted. I love it when people just like hear something that's just like it'll do anything. They're just like, I'm gonna test this.
Any other questions? Be about cosplay, can be about any of our videos, costumes. Oh, yeah, Edward?
I want to hear the story of when you first were together. Louis was saying Louis said he was in his pickup cosplay, and then he went to his laundry, and then he comes back and it's been shared 1,000 times. So I want to hear your story.
Ours was like a
Gradual.
slower
Yeah.
burn because when we first, who here has been cosplaying for 7 years or longer? So the thing about cosplay, I was thinking about cosplay recently. I'm just like, cosplay's become like, I don't think super different in a bad way, but like honestly, like having a wig used to be a big thing. Like if you had a wig, people were just like, whoa, are you kidding? Like that's amazing. That's not your real hair. Warblow wasn't a thing.
No.
Right.
Yeah, Wonderflex.
Wonderflex was
Kind
there,
of,
but
yeah.
it's much less easy to use. So when we first started cosplaying, it was very like I went to my first convention and I was like awestruck. I was just like, this is amazing. Like I didn't want to leave. I ran around like a maniac. I don't know. I was having the best time, and I wanted other friends to cosplay with, and it was sort of like at that convention where I met other people to cosplay with, and then we started posting videos, and I don't think we really because at first we were honestly just posting things, like not thinking anyone else would even watch them. We were just like, we're gonna get together and film some stuff. So we posted about 5 videos, and then we started somebody started noticing, like, guys, we have 20,000 subscribers or so, or 10,000 or whatever, and we have like a couple thousand views in our videos, which was at the time a big deal. We're just like, what? People are watching it. At first I got really scared, because I was like, what does this mean? And then like our DeviantArt, like, who here remembers DeviantArt? Yeah. Those views started going up a little bit too. I think it was super, and then people started recognizing us at conventions. It was super gradual. I think the point at which I noticed it was probably like, it's hard to say. I think it would have been like getting followed around places. Yeah, it was sort of like going to cons. We were going to cons anyway, and like, or like seeing posts on the internet that were just like, I just saw them walk by. So it's like that attention of like people like taking the time to post about us was just like, I was like realizing like a different level of just like, oh, it isn't just like people watching me because they're just like, I know that cosplay. It's like, I know that cosplayer, which was a difference. There have been a few of my photos that, like, there's this one photo, and it kind of is the bane of my existence right now, which is random as hell. It's myself as Fix-It Felix, like, with my friend Sam as Commander Calhoun, who's, like, slapping me in the face. And that photo has been shared billions of times as, like, one of the most popular things in China at one time. And for my work, because it shows up in like 9gag and stuff constantly. So at my work, because I work with youth, so like they'll post it on my work Facebook page and be like, "This character looks like you," and it's like to tell them or not to, because it happens every month, because that photo keeps making the rounds. But I think that's sort of when I noticed that, like, maybe I don't use the word famous. I find it disconcerting. I find it really disconcerting.
Yeah.
Maybe like recognized. But it took a long time. Like, it wasn't like a post a photo and then come back. It was like a slow build, because like there wasn't a concept of, at least that I was aware of, there wasn't a concept of cosplay famous people, except for, I know Pikmin Link was well known, and that was about it. Like, that was,
Yeah.
it was different. It was a different landscape.
It was very, very, very different from when we first started. The only time that I felt it was like kind of a surreal experience for us was like when we first got invited overseas to a convention.
Oh,
And I was just standing in London. I'm just like, why are we here? Like, we are at this foreign place. Yeah, it was just, it was that moment where I was just like, wow, like, is this actually happening? So that was like, what, 5 years ago? And we'd been cosplaying for 5 years already. So yeah, it was very, very gradual for me, at least.
I had that moment. I think if it's a moment, it was years later. It happened in Australia, when we were at like this random theme park, and we were with like a bunch of people. We had been invited there, and like for cosplay of all things, I know. And we were going around on this like twirly thing, and it was like single booth. So I was like in my own booth, and it would take you up, and it was like a starry night, so you could see all the stars. And I remember looking at the stars, and I mean, it's a very romantic moment for me, but like, it really shouldn't have been. But I looked at the stars, and I realized like those are stars in a different hemisphere. And then I'm just like, I'm here because I dress up in costumes. That's amazing. And then we got off the ride, and this poor girl threw up, and then we had to go home. But that was my moment. And like, we're pretty blessed because there's no reason why we're here and other people are not. Like, cosplay, like, fame, and I want to make this really clear, like, everyone who's cosplay famous, it's all about circumstance, happenstance, being in the right place, right time. Because there's so many amazing cosplayers who, like, just aren't well known because, like, they just weren't, like, they didn't post their photo at the right time. And that's the way it is. So it's like, I find it like a weird I find it a weird thing to just be like, this person's better than these. Well, no, they aren't. They just got lucky, and that's
Yeah.
something I like to own pretty constantly because we did get super lucky. Like we posted everything or a lot of things at like the right time. And it wasn't because of our skill level, because I just recently learned how to sew without using hot glue. Big accomplishment. And I'm really proud of myself for it. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we learn new things with every costume we make, so we're still
Oh
we're
yeah.
still trucking along. Yeah.
Still learning.
Yep. Boy, after that long-winded
This
answer,
water bottle is so full.
is there any other questions? Are you okay?
Well, I'm sorry, whoever uses this table afterwards.
I think it's
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you got it on my phone.
First panel of the day, we're already doing fine.
Okay, questions? Anything? Quiet.
Umbreon. Thank you,
again.
Umbreon.
It's always so hard to choose. Okay, well, favorite anime is probably between Sailor Moon because I grew up with it, but Japanese version is way better than the English one, or at
What are you
least.
talking about? Sailor Moon says.
Yeah, I know you love the English one because it's funny, but and then my other favorite would probably be Full Metal Panic. The third season is probably one of the best.
Yeah, you should have. That would have been. That would have been timely.
It's a really good series, but Full Metal Panic, the third season, was probably one of the best things I have ever seen. So good. Favorite comic? I don't know. I have a soft spot for Batman because, again, I grew up with it, and I love the Bat family. And favorite video game right now is probably Dragon Age.
My favorite video game is probably, like right now, is probably Dragon Age as well because I've played it so much. I always answer like the most recent thing I've watched. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What did I just watch? Does Avatar: The Last Airbender count as an anime? Okay, that's my favorite anime. Sometimes I like almost cry thinking about how much I love that series. I had like this like, I was explaining it to my boss because she was going to, well, not my boss. I don't know. My supervisor? I don't know, coworker? I don't know. It's very confusing. But she was going to start watching it. I was like, it's so good. It's so amazing. And at the end, I won't spoil it for you, but there's this moment where they're just like, they have to come and reconcile with the fact that they can't kill the bad guy they would usually. And how are they gonna rectify with this? And it's amazing. And like, I almost like came to tears with like, I just love that series so much. And I had the CMV I want to do for it in my mind, and I get to one part of it, and I'm just like on the bus coming home from work, and I'll start crying, or like running on the treadmill and just like weeping openly. And I'm like, that's not sweat, my body's crying. And I love Avatars. Does anyone else in here like Avatar? It is so good. It is so good. I was with it until the end of season 1, when I was just like, this is the moment. I understand now. They're gonna take away her powers. She's gonna have to build herself up, become like a vulnerable character. But it was just like, Aang was just like, here.
Silver platter.
Problem solved. And then walked away. I was like, whoa.
That's the one thing I hated about Korra, like, problems were solved so
Yeah.
quickly, and like the last season they wanted to end it, so they brought giant robots, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Solve it with giant robots.
I was actually really into it in the first season because I thought they were going to address the benders versus the non-benders thing, because that would have been really interesting. But then I guess they realized they backed themselves into a corner with that one, and then they didn't do anything with it. So that was really disappointing. Yeah. Yeah, so Korra, unfortunately, I didn't like as much, so.
I didn't watch too much of it. I was happy with like the pairing that it off with, because Mako was just pretty I mean, he got better, but like, there was a period in there where you're just like, you are just. Yeah, I
true.
guess so. But then everyone wanted to be that part, and I was like, you can't all be this character. Yeah,
No.
and yeah, I mean, just lifts it up to his eyes, like, "Ugh." I can be damaged too. I mean, but even Zuko was difficult as a character because like, for a while you just want to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
But that became his thing, and then they start making fun of it, and then like you just can't take this. It's sort of like a Kylo Ren character, right? Where that character, it's hard to take them seriously because they're a child having a tantrum. I feel like with yeah, I love the what is it, the
Well,
teen
sh-
Kylo Ren. Okay, no.
No spoilers, because I'm sure some people haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So
Who hasn't seen Star Wars yet?
a few people.
Okay, a few people haven't seen it. Ah, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good movie.
No spoilers, though.
No
Just in
spoilers.
case.
Might be
We might get
kicked out.
assassinated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have time.